What's that?
So what you guys do? You get the whole sheriff's department.
Expecting a rough crowd without video.
The TV's out there, expect them.
We'll get a big fine.
Server went out.
Oh, when Time Warner came in, it's like, do you have to change, do you have to mess with this? Oh yeah, we gotta fix this. Oh shit.
Yeah.
And he said, I mean, he sat here all the while Ron was, he said, I never touched that, which I'm sure he didn't, but it's this. This piece right here, right? No, this piece right here.
Is that new stuff in there?
Well, it's not that, no. These are from before I was town chair. That's how old those
Well,
cameras
the cameras are old.
Yeah. This, that audio, we replaced that with, not before ARPA. Oh, within 2 minutes, you gotta buy the beer. Did you pass on that, Jim, did you pass, okay. Jay, did you sign that resolution?
Well, Dylan's got to sign it.
Dylan's got to sign, okay.
Evening. You have a proclamation. There you go, Jay.
Dylan, did you want to borrow the Board of Review?
Did enough people go through it already?
I did.
We got 2 out of 5.
Is that enough? Do we need 3?
You just need 1.
Gary and I watched it and we failed the test.
Oh, that's right. Even though they gave us the answers. We got it out of sequence.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Got to go. Fine.
Six o'clock.
You guys ready?
Ready.
All right. I'd like to call a Village of Vernon board meeting in order, but first I'd like to apologize to everybody watching.
Microphone.
Yeah. Due to equipment failure, our meeting cannot be televised at this time, but you will listen to the audio portion of it. We were working to correct this problem, and this situation just happened, which didn't give us much time to look into getting a new server to fix the issue. Everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call on open meeting law compliance check.
President Jeff Milley.
Here.
Trustee Jay Pecca. Trustee Gary Finch.
Here.
Trustee Dylan Newman.
Here.
Trustee Jim Hurth.
Here.
Mr. President, note for the record, you do have a quorum of your village board. Also note for the record, Brett Bartels, the DPW director, is here, and you're in full compliance with the open meetings law.
Okay, I'd like to read the notice for a possible closed session. Consideration and possible action on a motion to convene an executive session under Wisconsin State Statute 19.85, parentheses 1, subparentheses D, except as provided in Statute 304.06, parentheses 1, parentheses EG, and by rule promulgated under Section 304.06, parentheses 1, parentheses EM, considering specific applications of probation, extended supervision or parole, or considering strategy for crime detection or prevention, more specifically, considering strategy for crime detection or prevention of Vernon or village facilities. Included in the closed session will be members of the village board, administrator, clerk. This will require a roll call vote, and no decision will be made in closed session. Public comments. Any public comments? Seeing none, moving on to miscellaneous matters. Vernon Fire Commission procedures. John, you wanna,
Did everyone get a copy of our policies? We've spent quite a bit of time working on them, getting them to this point, and personally, I'd like to encourage you to have a labor attorney read them over and make sure they're okay. I don't specialize in labor law, but we feel we've done a pretty good job getting them to this point. We spent a lot of time, not only the current commissioners, but several prior commissioners. We've been working on it for several years, so that's kind of where we're at with them.
okay.
Like I said, I'd like to see a labor attorney read them over. We think they're pretty well written, but just to make sure.
The only thing I was questioning in them, it referred to a lot as the city, where you had city president and aldermen. I mean, should that be changed to reflect more of the village terms, or?
It's my understanding that when they looked up the ordinance, that's what it says, that it's not been changed yet. Or I think it was worded town, and obviously we're a village, and that hasn't been updated. I think that was what it was. But I
Okay,
know what you're saying, Jeff. You know, we obviously are a village, but in some areas of that document, it doesn't say village. It refers to town and maybe even city in a few places, but I believe it's the ordinance. The ordinance was never updated.
Well, and I need to state for the record that Attorney John Macy, when we became a village, stated, and I probably have that in one of his legal opinions, even though our town ordinances say town, they automatically reflect village and village law. Just so you know that, John. Because there's a lot of our ordinances that reflect town government, but I'll find that legal opinion for the board so you can see that.
Yeah, whatever we gotta do to get that worded right, you know, let me know. One of our commissioners has been making all the updates, doing a good job, so we can get that changed.
yeah, I didn't know if that was required by what you were following, or,
Yeah.
so. So is there a motion to send this to the labor attorney for review?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by trustee Newman, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by trustee Hurd. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Yeah,
John will copy you on our legal opinion from the attorney.
yeah, we'll keep in touch on that. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
All right, moving on to Vernon Fall brush pickup or brush drop off. Brett, you wanna give us an update on?
Well, for the drop-off, we ended up with about 350 loads dropped off here, varying in size based on trucks. Some people brought some pretty big trailers, some people brought a pickup truck fulls. I just marked it by load. Pile's pretty good out there. We're gonna grind it start grinding Tuesday. I'm hoping to have it ground in a day or two. But as far as that goes, like the pile out there is pretty big. I think we have a pretty decent turnout for drop-off. I don't think everybody was thrilled about it, but I think most people got it here.
There's still files around town.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
So
There's one.
we need to get those picked up in the fall.
I mean, that's up to you guys. I'll do whatever you guys decide to do, like I've said all
So we
along.
should charge for it too.
Yeah, I mean, however, again, that's kinda whatever you guys want me to do is what I'll do. I'm not opposed to either way, so.
Yeah, you sent out an email saying you figured labor and fuel and truck mileage worked out to about $100
Yeah, that
a
was
load.
based on like the county numbers, and I just figured it was gonna be about a half hour. You know, if you figured it out per house, like if I were to drive to your house, it would take me probably about a half hour to get there, pick it up, drive back, dump it. So that was my breakdown based on a half hour using the county's numbers when we thought like our recycle grant for time.
And then, what's our estimated cost on the chipper for the few days we use?
It's like $475 an hour, so if you figure that out by 16 hours,
between 3,000 and 4,000 when we rent it, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
$3,800 a day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's based on how big your pile is. The bigger the pile, the more that number goes up, because the longer it takes to grind. But,
You know, my feelings with this brush pickup is, in general, government should not be doing services where only a few residents benefit. I mean, you have private contractors out there more than willing to do the job. Why is the government competing against private business? You know, it's same thing with the golf courses. Why are there county golf courses when there's plenty of privately owned golf courses? You know, we have to compete against unfair advantages that they have that we're not offered. And it's the same thing with brush pickup. There's only the minority of the residents that use it. It's a huge expense. If we do offer any type of brush pickup, it needs to cover all the expenses of doing it. This can't be a free service anymore.
No, I agree with you.
I agree with you, and it's been abused too.
So, yeah, I don't know if you go like $200 a truckload and residents sign up.
Well, he was talking about $100.
Yeah, that's not the chipper fee in there though too.
They rent the chipper anyway, don't you?
You're gonna have to get the chipper anyway, even if people bring this stuff in.
Well, if you don't have brush pickup, you don't need a chipper or brush drop off.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But I think brush drop off makes sense, though, doesn't it?
I think it's
Is,
drop off.
does Big Ben do brush in the fall where we can see our chipper costs again?
I'm not sure. That I mean, I could call tomorrow and.
Of course, there you don't have that much compared to us
Correct.
either.
Yeah, you look at their pile out there, I'm gonna burn through that pretty quick, and they pick that up, but.
And
Lot
if
less
we
mileage.
do it, I have a feeling, we should do it in the spring, after all the limbs have fallen off the trees over the winter.
I would agree, if you're gonna do a pickup, it would be probably in the benefit to everybody to do it in the spring, because winter is when everybody tries to either trim trees and or branches break down, but.
Right.
You should probably tell them, Brett, about the timing, either, because if they have brush pickup or drop off, whatever you do, the timing with the parks and the roads, I mean, if you could pick a more conducive
If
time.
we could shove it earlier, if we were gonna pick up in spring, I'd like to shove it a little earlier, when it was
Like-
still a little cooler outside before really, park stuff really takes off. 'cause
April?
That's,
Soon enough?
yeah, I would think so.
Early April.
Yeah, if you did early
Early.
April. Maybe, I mean, you could even push it into March, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not worried, like,
You need 2 weeks?
that's tough to tell. Like, you get a rough winter, like we did last year, it took us 3.5, you know? And that was just picking up everything, just driving around the village and picking everything up, but, I think you'd have to take a run at it, charging people and see about how big your list gets. We just have to, if that's the route we're gonna go, I think we need to advertise it soon. And you need to have like a sign up, a start time and a finish time, and if you miss the deadline and don't pay, then we're not, you know, it is what it is. You can't cater. It has to be advertised and people need to know about it, and then give them a month long ahead of time before the pickup itself, then I know and I can create a route.
And how would you get the money picked up? Would people have to come in here and
I
fill out
think
something?
you'd have to have them come in here or use the point and pay online or something, I don't,
Either way, however residents want to take care of it, we'll be there for them.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We can have fillable forms online, they can pay online, they can come down, we can work with them.
Well, it's just like brush.
Right.
just
Yeah,
like,
I want mulch delivered, I
The wood
pay for it
chips.
up front. and-
I was gonna say, yeah, ran something similar to the wood chip delivery, you do it ahead of time, and then I can create some sort of, I know where I'm going, I'm, all right, I'm heading this part of the village, I'm gonna stop here, here, and here, on to the next neighborhood.
I think the hybrid mode would be fair. You know, the people that don't have the equipment, you know, doing that.
So we're just gonna offer it in the spring and skip this fall? Or,
There's probably some piles out there now. We want to leave them in the ditch, especially over the winter time. They're gonna get in the way of snow plowing.
I don't think it would be a problem snow plowing. I think
Okay.
there's more of a possibility of it creating
damn,
a dam for
Oh,
bad
okay.
storms
Right.
if they just sit there and get overgrown and wash down deeper into the ditch or something.
the other problem is too, they may not wanna pay. That's what, we'll leave it sit there, we don't care.
But anyway,
I mean, that's something that could happen.
And then we'd have
I mean,
to-
That's,
Send them a notice, I don't know.
yeah, there would have to be some, what do they have to do, have an ordinance or something?
gonna
or
say you could-
Pick it up and charge them?
at that point, you could create an ordinance that if you're gonna charge people for a pickup, you create an ordinance that if it's left out and they don't pay, you mail them a letter, giving them an opportunity to pay, and it'll be a higher rate because they've obviously missed their pickup time frame to sign up. And then if they don't comply, you just pick it up, and then you charge them, bill.
Our ordinance already covers that. If we provide a service and they don't pay the bill, it goes on their tax bill.
Right.
Like noxious weeds, if you don't mow your yard, it's full of noxious weeds.
That's what
The bill.
yeah.
Legal fees, planning fees, engineering fees, if they incur that fee and they don't pay at every November, you authorize me to put them on their tax bill.
Okay.
So you just,
So what should we do then, definitely?
you gotta come up with a date for fall and what you're gonna charge, if you're gonna, because I can start putting everything in the newsletter for fall and spring. But you just gotta give me some dates and amounts and,
What was that number that you had, $102 or $100?
I don't even remember.
$100
It's
and
$100.
$40,
Yeah, it was like $100.
42 cents
Yeah, it
or
was-
something like that.
It was like $100 and some change.
Yeah.
I think it's 42 cents.
And that wasn't counting the chipper rental.
But they won't run the chipper this fall. They'll wait and run the stuff this
I
spring.
do normally run it.
Yeah,
fall.
twice a year.
Yeah.
Well, you are.
But even if you do a drop off, it's
Correct.
still gonna be.
If I do a drop off or a pickup, I'm gonna have to rent the chipper.
Okay.
Okay.
If it's a small enough pile, I could probably leave it through the winter. I mean, I'm not opposed to that idea, but.
That one would be a big one.
Yeah, that would be a problem for the rest of the summer.
The salt trucks couldn't get in.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. So, should we make a decision on this and put it to bed?
Yeah, I would be in favor of skipping fall brush pickup and just going down to once a year and charging for it in the spring.
I'm fine with that. I think we should do this fall.
I do.
To get
Because people
this year
put stuff
done
in
and
that
then,
ditch. We need to get that cleaned out, I think. So we don't have damming and stuff.
but I think I agree with that. I think we should do pickup and we should do charging and it should be just once a year.
Are you gonna allow them to come and drop off also in the
Yeah.
meantime?
I think so, yeah.
I think it would be fair if we.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that. Like, if there's gonna be a pile here regardless.
Yeah, I
You
think
know.
that should be okay.
I think it would be fair if we have a place to drop it off.
And then also if they, once you start charging for it, they could pay for more than one load. You know, if they have a lot of brush, you say, you know, got at least 2 truckloads I'm willing to pay for.
Right, yeah, when I go pick up, I'll pick up with a big truck, so that, you're looking at a big truck there. So I
Which
mean,
is a 5 by,
it's a 5, 6 yard dump truck, but you can really pack brush in there, because we got that grapple, so then you can put it in from above and push down as you're,
Get a couple loads in
and
it.
we normally drop the tailgate, leave the tailgate down, so it's,
well, we gotta have a size of the pile, saying this is a truckload size.
I would say you got 5 or 6 yards of space in one truck.
What's that
Yes.
equate to in length and?
Cubic yards.
Yeah, cubic yards are 3 by 3 by 3, I believe.
I think people need to know that, like the size of the dump box, what is that? 10 feet long by 6 feet wide and 4 feet high?
They're,
Like a queen-size mattress.
our single axles here, I guess I've not measured them, but they're not all exactly the same. Some are a little taller than others.
I think we gotta give measurement in foot, you know, this is, a pile this size is one truckload, so they know. We
Yeah,
can
I agree.
measure.
We can't measure.
If we say
small
cubic
equals
yards or
each
something,
Yeah.
that'll make it confusing.
I think something outside of cubic yardage. You gotta give people a better
Yeah. example.
example.
By feet, length, width, height.
Yeah, well, I mean, that, a cubic yard is 3 by 3 by 3. Almost.
That's not very big.
So I mean, if you go by 5 of those, that's 15 feet long by 15 feet and 15 feet high, that's a pretty big pile.
That's really big.
For one truck.
All right, and then if we have it this fall, what dates would you like?
October 6th to the 13th. Are you still in soccer season?
Yeah, I'm not even sure exactly. I would say October, towards the end of October, yeah. The 13th, you do it through,
The 20th?
yeah. Well, you're talking about a pickup, right?
Yeah,
Or drop off?
Or drop off?
sure.
Yeah, you tell them like the 13th or the 24th?
We'll do 13th east of center and 20th west of center, and then if you need more time, at least they know they have to, if you're east of center, it's the 13th, if you're west of center, it's the 20th. And if you need more time, we'll just do more
Maybe
time.
I just go pick it up tomorrow.
Right.
Okay.
And you at least have 2 Saturdays in there for drop off.
So what should we charge? $200 for a truckload?
Well, we can, you know, if we're not charging people to drop off brush for the chipper fee, guess we really can't charge a chipper fee.
So take a chipper fee.
Yeah,
So it's $100?
at least.
No, that's what he said.
Yeah.
$100 by a truckload.
Something like that.
Just make it round numbers. 100. Easy to remember.
I'm okay with $100.
And we'll set up point and
Our
pay.
cost is 100 and change,
Yeah,
like literal change or like 100?
it's like $100 and
42 cents.
42
Okay.
cents.
So yeah, 100 bucks.
I think that would be fair too.
All right, so, but people have to sign up ahead of time
Mhm.
Or buy a month ahead of time, I think.
We'll get that up on the website,
Or at
Facebook,
least by
newsletter.
October 1st. At least, right?
What's
I
that?
think we should have it all set a month ahead of time so Brett has the chance to get a route going and know what to be prepared for.
I think it would make it easiest, yeah, if we could find a way to make, like, the sign up, you allow people to sign up like September 1st to the 30th. The deadline's the 30th to pay, you don't pay by then, we're not coming to pick it up. That gives me a week, 2 weeks to figure out
Yeah, that'd be good.
a route. I know who's paid, I know who's gonna,
Let's do it.
So what deadline do you want, Brett? Because we can start collecting now.
right. Like, well, I
you're-
mean,
but
yeah, you
you're-
have your sign up from, you know, like the 1st to the 3rd, all of September. You say people
Okay.
can come in, pay, your
First-
address, how much you're gonna have. If you're gonna have 2 loads, you think, you know, you pay for 2 loads, and that's what we'll be there to pick up.
The deadline is September 30th.
Yep.
Okay. Is that okay with the board?
$100 a load.
All right, should we make a formal motion on this?
And can I ask what a load is?
Huh?
Did you guys decide what a load is?
Whatever fits in the truck.
Well, you need to figure out what fits in the truck for us, so I can put some,
That's hard based on how big the logs are. If you have brush that's just lit,
Would you
like,
say four cubic yards?
Oh, you should give a max length, like we've done.
yeah, can't be longer than 8 feet long. Like, that's just each branch can't be longer than that, it won't fit in the truck.
5 feet high.
Yeah, you say 5 feet high,
8 foot long by how wide?
and it can't be over a 14-inch log. They won't allow that to go through the grinder if it's bigger than that.
But
So,
that's pretty good size.
well, that's what I'm saying, if somebody puts out
Yeah.
4 yards of 14-inch logs, there isn't
Big
much
maple
compaction there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get as much as somebody that takes their tree
That's an
trimmings.
important notation to make, though, that we can't do anything over, I would say 13 inches, because if you say 14, somebody's gonna put
Say
out a
12.
15 inch.
Yeah, say 12. yeah.
Well, yeah, something like that.
Hold your foot up there, yeah.
8 length, 5 feet high. What else do you need?
They can't be over 14 inches
Right.
in diameter.
Okay. So you just have height and length. Length and height.
So
Okay.
will we be getting out our fall newsletter by the end of August or something?
And we'll put it up on the website right away and Facebook.
Sounds good.
So are these gonna be set parameters then for, in spring then?
Yeah, we just have to pick the date, we'll pick the dates.
Yeah, we'll look
Right,
at the
yeah,
dates
closer
after
to
this.
But we'll tell them,
You might only have 50 loads.
We
Right.
should just see
Yeah,
how it
and-
goes. We
and-
should
and-
job cost it, see exactly what it costs us to do it, so that we know if that $100 is on the money, or if we're really costing 150
and we can tell the electors that we're gonna do it in March of 2026. We don't know the exact dates, but at least they know when it's coming.
Sure,
Yeah.
the end of March or something like that. That'd be good. Last 2 weeks of March. That way to make sure most of the snow is gone, right?
I'm gonna complain, I don't have enough time to get things cleaned up, yeah. All right, so,
Do we need to make a motion?
do you have all the specifics there, Karen? You wanna read it into a motion for us?
The fall brush pickup or drop-off is gonna be October 13th through October 20th. East of Center would be the 13th, west of Center would be the 20th. The charge would be at $100 a load. The load would be 8 feet in height, 5 feet in height, 8 feet in length, and no trunks more than a 14-inch
No,
diameter.
Let's go down a little bit.
12?
That's the max. That's just
Yeah.
12?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because 12 is gonna look a lot, 14 inches.
Well,
Somebody's
And-
gonna mismeasure, and we're gonna be
14 inches on
stuck
this
with a lot
end
of
and
firewood.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And
6
brush,
feet on the other.
That's right.
and brush pickup or drop-off will be in March of next year, date to be determined.
And they have to sign up.
Oh, yes, the deadline is September
September
30th,
They have to come in and
2025.
They have to sign up.
Mhm.
Okay.
We can do this all online too. They don't have to
Oh,
come
sure.
in. We'll have it
Oh,
all
good
set
point.
up,
Yeah,
right.
we can, yeah.
But we just need the money and the documentation. We'll have fillable forms and, so they don't have to come in, but we just want the money, just like we do
That's
with
sweet.
wood chips.
Good way to do it, yep.
That would,
All right, is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion carries. All right, Brett, authorize DPW director to sell village skid loader and road grader to purchase a road widener.
We talked about this with capital improvement. I kinda waited, I wanted to make sure we had all of our other attachments operating on our loaders now, that the skid loader attachments, took a little bit of time, had to plumb a little thing, and I had to buy a wireless controller for the Volvo loaders to make all of that work, but it's all operating now, so if you guys are fine with it, I would like to auction the skid steer. I feel it's not utilized.
Is this Wisconsin surplus?
Yeah, Wisconsin surplus, just like I did with the last stuff, the truck and the other stuff, and skid steer, I think we should get a pretty good penny for. I mean, if you guys want me to put a reserve on it, I can. But I did not on any of the other stuff that I sold, and we did okay, but that's kind of risk reward, I guess.
They charge extra for putting reserve on?
Nope.
I would.
Yeah, that doesn't
There's
hurt,
213 hours on it only, so.
I'm in favor of this because, well, if there's only 213 hours on it, what year is it?
I believe it's 22.
Yeah, that's hardly any use, so. How many of those were in the last year?
Oh, not many. I think I think the first 120 hours were when they rented the last Widener.
So like 2 years ago?
Yeah. before I was here.
How old is a road grader?
Oh, that's like a 1986.
Oh, I thought it was older than that. Looks pretty rough.
Can you sell,
It doesn't pretty enough.
It runs.
can you sell these and pay for a road widener? Will it pay for it?
If you get what the skid steer's worth, probably.
Okay.
I don't know what you're gonna get for that grader. I have no idea. Somebody might give you 10, 15, 20 grand, I don't know. I have no idea really, to be honest. It's as old as it is, but everything works on it. I mean,
It runs.
It runs, it operates, that's what we're using the shoulder right now. But like I kinda explained to you guys, we're one incident away from trying to find a salvage part somewhere for a Fiat Alice.
Yeah.
And Brett would come back if for some reason it's way shorter than the Widener would be. He'd come back. He wouldn't automatically
Okay.
buy it.
Yeah, the estimate on the Widener was like 70-some thousand.
I'd definitely put a reserve on the skid steer, but I wouldn't really put one on the road grader.
I agree.
Is there a number you want?
$500,000.
What do you think it's worth?
I'm not sure. I think you probably get 40 or 50 grand for it though. I would
So you
think.
wanna put something like
Put 30 on there,
30 or something on there, just to have a bottom.
just in case,
Look,
yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with that, that's why I mentioned it, like, it's worth a good amount of money, so I'm certain you guys paid more than that for it. I wasn't here when it was bought, but
What, maybe they're 100 grand too, over 100.
Are they?
Some of them.
Some of them are. That one's probably not, that one's probably like
So
60.
that one had a cooling issue where the radiator wasn't big enough, I think, wasn't it?
That was to
So-
run the Widener, yeah.
yeah, my understanding is Bobcat, if you buy a Bobcat from Texas, you get a bigger radiator, because it's a warmer climate. So they
No.
base their radiator size based on climate. So if you push a Bobcat pretty hard up here in the summer, it can overheat. But it's not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just how they're built.
Okay.
That sounds funny. Maybe sell up north, they put a smaller radiator on.
Saved a
What
few
happens,
bucks.
it happened to all our cars, they would do that.
Yeah,
Well, they do that with batteries, they get a different battery down south than they do up north,
That's true.
so.
I'll make a motion to authorize them to sell these with, road grader going without any reserve, and we could put a reserve on the skid loader of what, 30,000 or 35,000 or something like that. Make sure we get something out of it, you know, if someone comes in with a $19,000 bid, they only one, we may not wanna sell it right now.
That's not all part of your motion, is it?
Huh?
That's not all part of your
No,
motion.
no, no.
It's like,
Just
Just talk of the reserve.
no reserve on the grader, reserve on the skid steer.
and what's your number on it?
What do you suggest, 30?
I would say 35, 40.
Okay, say 35 then.
Yep. We'll make that motion, at the 30.
All right, trustee, or Finch made that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by trustee Earth. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes unanimously. Brett, do you have a DPW report you can give before you can go?
It was mostly brush drop off, seemed to work out, to the best that I think it probably could have. Like I said, we had 350 loads come in, and that, I'm sure we missed a couple when we were out doing park stuff, and we'd throw the clipboard out once in a while and nobody'd be there for a few minutes and stuff like that, so I'm sure we missed a few, but, we did that, and pretty much have been a lot of parks catch up. We had the park sprayed once with just weed killer, and it did really good. There's like no dandelions.
a lot of grass cutting.
Yeah, a lot of grass cutting with that spraying and the rain that we've had, but that's kind of really been spring so far.
Okay.
Is trying to monitor that and take care of grass and park stuff in the meantime. We did get mastic done over by Norris, where you guys paved. I think, I'm not sure, Tyler didn't tell me the year you guys paved that
3 years
center.
ago, yeah.
It was pretty cracked up right in front of Norris, so we masticed where it was cracked up there, trying to
The
see.
stuff we just put down?
The stuff in front of Norris, yeah. So, we did do some mastic work for, I had that for a week, at the first week of last month. Yeah, that's, we did some other small spots of mastic, but that's where we primarily focused.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
To the sheriff.
Now, any problem with the sheriff give a report this time? You guys got anything?
No, sir, we're good.
You guys got anything for them?
Nope.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Stay safe. You're doing a great job, guys. You too, Brett, get out.
You probably should have announced they're leaving and all the riffraff will come in, yeah.
Stop talking about my family that way, Jim.
Just because they're in town.
Looking for trouble, huh?
Yeah. Moving on to bartender license for Chloe Strunk and Stephanie Santiago Dabrowski.
Yes, board members, everything is in order. All these two young ladies have their certification. Everything's paid. Their bartender's license are ready for your approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the bartender license for Chloe Strunk and Stephanie Santiago Drabowski.
Is there a second?
Second that motion.
Second by trustee Becca. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I did have one question. Didn't we have something that if somebody had a record that
It's
they...
supposed to be a felony, not
Oh,
misdemeanors. I did contact the state of Wisconsin. They said you don't bring in people for,
Gotcha.
it's felonies. And if you see on the application, it says no, and they didn't commit any felonies, so,
Okay.
Sounds good. I was just curious.
yep.
Then I will... Oh, well, that's... I'm ready to vote then.
I think we already did.
No, we didn't vote yet. We're in discussion.
All right,
So,
okay.
all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Resolution 2025-02, a resolution to approve liquor and cigarette licenses for the 2025-26 year.
I just wanted to let all the board members know all their paperwork is in accordingly, all documentations related to their licensing, and all fees have been paid. So they're ready for pickup also, which they do come and pick them up themselves, but only after you approve those licenses.
Can we approve them all at once, or we have to go through each one?
That's why we have a resolution.
Okay.
They're all in the resolution. So all you have to do is press the resolution and you're good to go.
I'll make a motion to approve that resolution.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by trustee Finch. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
I'll abstain since
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah. sure.
one's for the golf course, yeah.
Sure.
Got it.
Wisconsin Department of Transportation closing statement for the selling of village property for the reconstruction of I-43 164 interchange, and authorize the village president to sign the closing statement.
And board members, you saw we got the check already?
Yeah.
That's quick.
But they still need that documentation from the board and authorizing Jeff to sign that closing statement.
So is there a motion to authorize me to sign the closing statement?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by trustee Hurd. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Next is village board attendance at Vernon Plan Commission meeting. That was for this next meeting, week from, or upcoming Wednesday.
Yeah.
There's no public hearing at that point. The few issues on there, Dylan and I will be there, if you guys want to wait and vote on it the following Thursday. Only negative to doing that is the petitioners may have to come to the meeting, that meeting also, if you have any questions. But it's nothing too,
Well, as long as someone else shows up, so you have a quorum.
well, we have to either we're gonna list it as a village board being present, or,
It's either a joint meeting or just plan commission.
yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter to me. It's not-
Yeah, Dylan and I are there anyway, so it's kind of up to you three if you want to come, or just wait and approve it all on Thursday night, a week later.
I think we have to come up with some, if one of us just shows up.
It is
Then
noted.
we have a joint meeting.
It is noticed on the bottom of all agendas that if one or, if there's a quorum of the board or a quorum of any committee, you're in full compliance because you're not gonna make any decisions. It would just
Okay.
be the plan commission making decisions if you decide you don't wanna come.
They make a recommendation to the board, and then we take it up a week later.
Okay.
And the board could decide that if the plan commission unanimously approves recommendation to the board, the petitioner shouldn't have to show up
Show
again.
up the next time. If they don't have to show up. no.
I wouldn't think so. If it's
If they
it's,
people show up again, I would want them to be at the meeting then.
It's-
Otherwise,
like President Millie said, it's the public hearings on zoning and master plan that you guys want to really be there. That's really important.
all right. And of course, you'll let us know up front we need to be there and that.
Yeah, these are all certified survey maps that the plan commission always makes a recommendation to the village board.
Okay.
And unfortunately, probably won't have audio, or video where you guys be able to watch the meeting next week.
You'll be able to listen to it.
Well, you might.
You won't be able to see the maps, yeah.
You don't know, you don't know.
So, all right, so you guys are good then, we'll just, everything the plan commission recommends, we'll bring to the following board meeting. You
Sounds
guys
good.
don't need to be there then.
But the July meeting is a public hearing,
So
so,
we'll show up for July.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, request applications for serving on the village sex offender registry board. I think we received one so far,
without making an announcement.
yes. So if anyone is interested in serving on that board, please, let the office here know with your qualifications or a little bit about yourself and,
How many positions are open?
one,
Well, there's technically two, but I have to talk to the two people. One definitely for sure, she's not,
Health
Susan
isn't
Black
so
is not
good.
coming back. But I think two of the other have expired. So we'll double check that to see if they want to remain, because you'd hate to kick somebody off that's been doing a great job.
No, I know. When do we make a decision on this?
There's no urgency, but it'd be nice to have, if people would get their resumes into for board review, by the June meeting. I mean,
yeah,
that's,
'cause there's nothing coming up that we have to worry about that I know of.
right. But that can change in a moment.
It's already June 5th, so just do it, have their things in by the end of June, and the first of the July meeting, we'll
Right.
look at it.
I mean, you do have a quorum of that board.
Okay.
It's, a quorum for that board is two, well, really one.
All right.
So Jeff just wanted to make that, I'm sorry,
Do you need a motion for that?
Do you have people put their thing in? by
No,
then?
we just make an announcement, position's open, give us your resume if you're interested.
because there was one woman that came up and spoke at a different meeting who wanted to be on that board, and she has some pretty heavy
Feelings.
reasons why. But like you said, President Millie's wanted to open up. We do have one application, which is good.
Okay.
But just for full transparency,
All right.
All right, next on the agenda is to authorize village president to discuss shared services with other municipalities. I have to put this on there so I can at least talk to some of our neighboring communities, see if there's anything we can do to save some money or make some money.
Hey, like,
Plan to me?
Go ahead, go ahead.
are you talking about combining fire and EMT services, or are you talking about, what is that?
Well,
Specific, probably.
that would be one item and
That'd
see
be
what else,
important.
see what else would, maybe they'd want to bring up something else, I don't want to be limited to just one particular item. It's open for discussion, we're not making any decisions, we'll come back to the board.
No, you sort of lease to it.
You can do it, saves money.
But, according to our ordinances, I need permission from the board before I talk to another municipality too, so.
I'll make a motion to authorize you to talk to other communities around the area for, say, I don't know what it's called, shared services.
Shared services, yeah, let it be either taking over or combining, something, I mean,
Sure.
so. Motion made by trustee Finch, second by trustee Pecca.
Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, correspondence and announcements. All I really have is I got one compliment on our newsletter this time. I thought it was a lot of useful information in there. So it's first time I've gotten a compliment in the newsletter.
Hey, how about that, huh?
That is all I have. Trustee Pecca?
Well, I want to say this. Karen, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. You're doing great. And I would like to say a special thank you to our DPW department and Brett for not having any accidents or abuse. Because I'm sure with some of you here that own businesses, that really adds up. You Jeff, that experience with it, Joe, something great, like this, it all adds up. So I'd like to say thank you to Brett.
Trustee Finch?
Well, the only thing I have is, back about a month ago, there was a grass fire in my neighborhood. And the fire department showed up, all 5 of them showed up that day. And they were loading up their small vehicle from the tanker and running down and putting out the fire and stuff. And they were efficient and good, so I was very pleased to see them do a good job there.
Trustee Newman?
Nothing too exciting for me, I did what both of them say.
Trustee Aaron?
Thank you.
Thank you. Karen, you have a administrator clerk report?
Yeah, I'll be really brief. I have been putting the weekly meetings that we go through every week on the bridge project. They did run into a little bit of a snag today. I did forward that email onto you in regards to they might not be able to hit that November 1st deadline. And my biggest concern is I didn't want funding to be right in any way. So they'll keep us posted on those, and those are not public documents, because of what's happening with the bridge project. So those reports are only for the board, just so that you know, but that's why they're in your packet.
Okay.
And the SLFR report, that's a report that you had turned in for the ARPA funds. That was all done correctly and is secure. I also wanted to put in your packet the $5,700 you got for a dividend from the League of Municipalities. And then you also saw that we got the 97. I thought that was funny because I called the 9,700. I said, we haven't sent the closing statement. I said, are you going to take the money back if they don't sign? She said, yes. So that's all I have, board members.
164 construction, that's almost done, isn't it?
No, I got an email today. In fact, it was late today that I thought it was going to be open sooner, but it's another month.
Okay.
Because they're working on shouldering and, some additional work they have to do. So I'll forward that email on to you, but it's getting closer, but they have a lot more work to do. A good month.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be this fall, but then all of a sudden, progress was really going fast. Like, well, they're done sooner. That way.
Right. Yep.
All right, moving on to finances. Accounts payable for June 5th, today. Karen, I did find one dyslexic mistake. We paid 10 cents too much on the one invoice, but
Which one is it?
um,
Because we can correct that tomorrow.
well, it was on the Amazon Capital here. Give me the tablet.
Oh,
It was. We have $498 and it was $489 on the receipt,
okay.
which not worth redoing a check for 10 cents.
Well, we could just note.
You just need it for your records while you're.
We'll just
10
make
cents
sure
off,
that we'll make sure that credit carries over.
yeah. Okay.
Because if you wouldn't have caught it, Terry would have. He catches everything.
That was the only thing I found in the APs.
And you did see the last receipt that was turned in. I just wanted to make sure that you guys all got that.
I have the actual receipt here of my stuff.
Yeah.
I went back, so.
Now, does the EP, that doesn't include that one manual check for Schwab?
No, there's
two.
there's two. One is
Yeah, the ones we already paid for.
right. The Schwab was 40, and then the other it was the
96.
postage.
USPS.
right,
Yeah,
for the
we'll do a
newsletter.
separate motion on the manual
Right.
checks. So the, where's my board?
Not a culvert, ditch bond, building permits, both and everything.
All right, so this batch, I have a total of $87,325.32.
I'll make a motion to approve CAPs in the amount of $87,325.32.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes unanimously. And we had 2 manual checks. Don't have the amount in front of me for the total.
Both of them together?
Yes,
It's $1,000, right? 26, 10,
I don't know where it is in her file.
1,026, 10.
102610?
Yeah, it's $986.10 for the USPS and $40 for the Schwab.
Okay,
Would that be right?
That's easy math. That's easy math.
Okay. Even I get that.
All right, is that your motion?
Yep.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Newman. All in favor of the motion? Opposed, motion passes. Village board minutes. There were a few.
We're gonna go down and do them each individually, I think, right?
correct.
First one will be March 25th of 2024.
At the finance meeting, right?
Village board and finance?
Yeah. Village board and finance. I'll make a motion to approve 3/25/24, village board and finance meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. We have the April 24th minutes of 2024,
24.
yeah.
Not much to those either, I'll make a motion to approve those.
I'll second it.
Motion made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. May 18th of 2024. Yeah, a lot of these minutes don't have much to them.
I'll make a motion to approve those.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. May 30th, 2024.
That's a staff meeting, right?
Yes,
I'll make a motion to approve the 5/30/24 board and staff meeting.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. June 27th of 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for 6/27/24.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
The next one, the 8/1/24, I wasn't in attendance.
yes, you had an excused absence.
I had excused that, so. I missed school. Hmm?
So this meeting, the minutes are very long
I
for this
know,
one.
right. Pick the right one.
A lot of public comments.
I felt like the minutes were almost longer than the meeting.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September,
August?
or August 1st of 2024. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by trustee Newman. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion? Aye.
Aye.
And one abstention. Motion passes unanimously. September 25th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for 9/25/24.
Or a second.
I'll second that.
Second by trustee Newman. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. And on the May 1st, 2025.
May 15th?
I don't think I was there.
No, you had an excused absence.
I didn't see that.
That was that stormy night, remember?
Oh, yeah.
We tried to make it as quick as we could that night.
You were already
I
here.
remember that, I was out on my route.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from May 1st, right?
15th.
Or 15th,
And it says May 1st here.
yeah.
On the agenda,
Yeah.
or it should be 15th.
We still approve them?
Can we still approve? them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll second that, Don.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Aye. And 2 abstentions, or just one? Just one abstention, Gary. You came late, Jay. You were there. All right, announcements. June 11th, 2025, with the Village Plan Commission joint meeting at 6 p.m. No, not a joint meeting, just Plan Commission.
Yes.
June 12th, we'll have the Board of Review from 5 to 7 p.m. And June 19th will be our next Village Board meeting. Is there a motion to convene in the closed session as printed on agenda item number 4 that I read earlier?
I'll make a motion to convene in the closed session.
Is there a second?
Second.
President Millies,
Aye.
Trustee Jay Pecca,
Aye.
Trustee Gary Finch,
Aye.
Trustee Dylan Newman,
Aye.
Trustee Jim Hirth.
Aye.
Mr. President, note for the record that your village board has voted unanimously to move into closed session.
All right. The audio off.